Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at thewatchbox.com, your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watches you hear on our channel or our website. Reach out to me directly, tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Today we are discussing a 2006 limited edition of 5,007 pieces, 45.5 millimeters in stainless steel. This is the Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean Casino Royale Special Edition. Whereas the Diver 300 meter was the Bond watch of the Pierce Brosnan years, the Planet Ocean has been the Bond watch of the Daniel Craig era, and this watch was there right at the beginning. Now, the timepiece is 45.5 millimeters in diameter, but these early Planet Oceans are thinner than the ones that came after. So the watch is 14.8 millimeters thick, which is almost within a millimeter of the current Diver 300 meter. 51.5 millimeters from lug to lug with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs, 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. The watch has a nice broad stance on the wrist. The 22 millimeter spacing gives it a nice broad proportional footing, and then across the wrist it's wide without being thick, which gives it a handsome aspect ratio. Surprisingly for a Planet Ocean, it will slide underneath most sleeves, and you can see across the wrist, that's its broadest dimension. I'd recommend it for a wrist 15 centimeters circumference or larger. You can see that over the top shot right there, the down the barrel one more time. Let's take a look at the strap. It's integrated, which means it traces the arc of the case and also the slope of the lugs. That also means it has a little bit of rigid flare. You can see that it adds some virtual diameter and virtual span across the wrist, but it is a very thick and substantially manufactured Omega factory strap, and you can see it is even specific to the Planet Ocean model. Taking a quick look at the buckle, you can see it's a satin steel piece, and it actually features an elevated bridge, which is a nice feature because it means that the strap mostly sits inside the buckle rather than stacking up underneath it, creating thickness on the wrist. Most Omega fans will know this case by heart. The lyre style lugs, they turn inward and they turn outward. They're beveled externally, they flare at their tips, and there's a thin mid case with longitudinal satin finish. Helium escape valve for you saturation divers. James Bond once used his as a grenade. This watch does not have that feature, but it's useful if helium is going to accumulate in your watch during the dive. Open this up and it will release the helium when the internal pressure exceeds external by 2 to 3 bar. The bezel has a 120 click architecture. It's quite mechanical and distinct. It also has a loud report. Let's have a listen. It's a positive feel, precise, sharp, and thanks to the knurling, which is remarkably catchy and has a deep bite, this is actually a bezel that's easy to manipulate when your hands might be wet, sweaty, or gloved, which is ideal for a diver. Line up the pearl with the minute hand. You can see broad arrow, hours and minutes. You have an impromptu 0 to 60 minute count-up timer. The obvious, there is a 007 logo as the counterweight to the seconds hand, and then you have tri-Arabic numerals. Remember, when the Planet Ocean debuted back in 2005, the Seamaster 300 didn't exist in the product line, so this was considered to be the vintage-inspired model in the collection, which is why you have some 1950s and 60s Seamaster 300 elements on this dial. Now, it's a matte dial with applique indices to give it an upscale look. It also has an Omega logo that is applique. Casino Royale blazing on the case back. A special edition, not particularly exclusive, but at 5,007, at least you know there was not an unlimited number, and it's fun to own an edition that has a James Bond theme. It does everything a Planet Ocean does, between being a coaxial chronometer 600 meters water resistant with the helium escape valve. It is a professional diving watch should you wish to test it. Of course, Casino Royale in a lot of ways a rebirth movie for the Bond series. The whole franchise got not just a reboot, but a solid stylistic shot in the arm and new credibility with Casino Royale. So while this model isn't particularly rare, I do think the association with a truly great Bond movie is going to help its collectability in the long run. Inside, you have Omega Caliber 2500 automatic winding, 48-hour power reserve, free sprung for precise adjustment and durability, 5-position adjustment, a COSC chronometer. It has both stop seconds and a quick set date, and it beats away at 25,200 vibrations per hour because it features the later escapement, the post-Charlie escapement having the coaxial specific beat rate. It is a nice fine, thin, accurate, and innovative movement. With the coaxial escapement, Omega effectively has the most advanced escapement available at under $50,000. This is a watch with a lot of technical interest in addition to its Bond themes and its diving capabilities. A watch that is handsome, wearable, and uniquely slim for a Planet Ocean. It's also a memorable special series from the long run of James Bond Omegas. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. And we're back with the Casino Royale pivoting in the dark on its 27 jewels.